Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, folks, to another episode of Off Season Central, episode 12. And you know what? I'm telling you, things are getting freaking insane. This Juan Soto contract is going to be enormous. Enormous. So, again, we have another great update from the Juan Soto saga, the Juan Soto sweepstakes. I want to get that to you, the latest information on that, because it is substantial. I love your opinions and feedback. So again, drop your comments as always. Then we're going to get into some fun. We're going to talk about what would be the Mets plan A if they could go out and pick, all right, I want that pitcher. All right, I want that outfielder. What would be their plan A? Because essentially, a lot of times you hear money, it's not an issue. For the Mets, it's actually true. Money is not an issue. And if the Mets are really, truly going full bore, pedal to the metal, what's their plan A, providing that the free agents or trades could be executed by David Stearns? Okay, that's second part of our video. And the third part of our video, we got to talk about Garrett Crochet because he's still in the news for our New York Mets. Again, we're going to look at another proposed trade package. This trade package was proposed by former general manager of the New York Mets. So we're going to go look at that. That was proposed by Mr. Scott. And we're going to take a look at that. We're going to see, does it make sense? Does it not? We'll check it out. We will check it out. All right, so today we're going to have a lot of fun. As always, smash that like button. You're not a subscriber, subscribe. Join us. Everyone is welcome. And everyone, I just want to say I thank you for all the past support and continue to support. It means a lot. It really, really does. Continue to follow us on X at Dominant Mets, Follow there just so we have an additional way to communicate. All right, so let's get started. Mets all in for Juan Soto. And, honestly, I'm always looking for the latest updates. I like John Heyman's updates. There's a couple of writers who I really do like to read, and I enjoy their work. But the latest update comes in the form of an update from former Mets legend, Carlos Beltran. So Carlos Beltran provided us with the latest news. And you're looking at this. The Yankees want Juan Soto. The Mets want Juan Soto. And obviously, the Yankees gave up a big trade package to get Juan Soto. If they don't sign this man, they're going to be left with mud on their face and a lot to rebuild. And I'll tell you what, there is nothing they could do to replace that man immediately. Maybe in a couple of years, but right now, their best bet is to sign him. Now you have a situation where it looks like Steve Cohen is going to put his big boy pants and say, you know what? I am a billionaire 21, 22 times over, and he is my player to lose. I want Juan Soto. That's what it looks like, and it looks like us Met fans, us MLB fans are going to witness the first time we get to see Steve Cohen really wanting someone. I know last year Steve Cohen offered $325 million for Yamamoto, same amount the Dodgers offered, but did he want Yamamoto? Yes, he did. But to the extent that he wants Juan Soto, I don't think so. Juan Soto is a guy he really wants. So a 26-year-old phenom. So let's look at the Carlos Beltran updates. So Carlos Beltran said this week that the Mets are going to do everything they can to sign the free agent slugger. Carlos Beltran is obviously a part of the Mets organization. He knows the plan. He knows the strategy. He knows the climate inside the organization. The assistant to the president of baseball operations spoke to a newspaper in Puerto Rico about the team's pursuit of Soto while at a recent charity pickleball event. And he said this quote, "The Mets want to improve the team, and there is no doubt that they will go after free agents, especially Juan Soto, who everybody wants," he said. "The Mets will go full blast after them. Full blast." Now, here's the thing. If you're a Mets fan, if you're a Padres fan, if you're a Phillies fan, if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan, if you're a Red Sox fan, if you're a Dodgers fan, if you're a Rays fan, any team, if you're a Yankees fan, if you're any team that has any hope to sign Juan Soto, I'm telling you right now, your biggest competitor is Mr. Steve Cohen. That is your biggest competitor in signing Juan Soto. So what Steve Cohen plans to do and wants to do is of interest to everyone. Everyone wants to know what this man wants to do. Now, Carlos Beltran is highlighting, here's the plan. We go full blast after this man. So I am interested to see, and I'm pretty sure MLB, Scott Boras, Juan Soto, everybody wants to know what full blast means. Okay. So Mets owner Steve Cohen is meeting with obviously Juan Soto and his agent in California this week. Okay, so to go on, this is what Carlos Beltran continued to say about Steve Cohen. He goes, "The Mets owner is one of the wealthiest in the game and wants to win," Beltran said. "When he tells the press that he wants to win, he doesn't say it to rile up fans. It's personal for him. And I got to see that being there with this team this year." So Beltran's telling you right up front, this man is not playing around. He doesn't say it just to get old fans riled up, excited. What he says, he means. And that makes all the sense in the world. He is, and I've said this since Steve Cohen became the owner, Steve Cohen is a man of action. Obviously, we've seen his success over the years. I mean, he bought the team, 4 years ago now? And when he bought the team, his net worth was $13 billion. I just Googled his net worth. It's $21 billion. How many people do you know made $8 billion in 4 years? This guy is a man of action. He's a successful businessman, and he is determined to turn this Mets franchise into a consistent winner. He is determined to put the best talent out there. He's putting good talent in the front office, headed by David Stearns, a good guy. Obviously, Carlos Mendoza did a great job. I mean, that trio, that leadership trio is great, but it's all about winning championships. All about winning championships. Okay. So ESPN reported on Monday that the Blue Jays are meeting with Soto this week. The Yankees are also among several teams interested in the four-time All-Star. Yankees manager Aaron Boone told reporters on Monday they have a meeting set up with Soto this month. So Beltran, he joined the front office in 2023. Obviously, he's a Mets legend. I love Carlos Beltran. He had 7 great seasons with the Mets from 2005 to 2011. And, he should be a Hall of Famer. I cannot wait till he gets inducted as a Met. He with the Mets, he hit 280, 129 OPS plus, 149 home runs. So he had a great career. He's a great baseball mind. And I know Carlos Beltran really communicating this to the fan base. He's doing it because this is what he has witnessed. And, I believe he expects Steve Cohen to get the deal done. He expects Steve Cohen to get the deal done. And behind the scenes, there is no doubt. The Mets right now are front runners. We are front runners. Not the Yankees, not the Blue Jays, not any team, not the Dodgers. The New York Mets are front runners. So I'm excited to see that come to fruition. Let me know. What do you think? What do you think about Carlos Beltran's comments? Does it have a lot of meaning? Do you think that he's just speaking out of turn, or, does it kind of back up what a lot of people feel about the Mets being front runners? Let me know what you think. All right. That was your Juan Soto update. Now we're going to get into more juicy stuff. We're going to think of what is Mets plan A? What is plan A for the New York Mets? We're still going to get to the Garrett Crochet package shortly. If you haven't got a chance to like the video, please like the video. It shows us you enjoy the content, so we make more. And then also, if you haven't subscribed, come on, hit the subscribe button. All right. Okay, so let's get into that plan A right now. All right. So I don't think you can, talk about a Mets plan A without starting with inking Mr. Juan Soto. The Mets last year and in years past always have been missing that extra bat, that extra bit of offense. Our offense last year was much improved. Francisco Lindor, MVP-like performance. Mark Vientos, guys started to emerge. Guys started to improve a bit. Brandon Nimmo had a really respectable year. But still, we need that next level bat, that superstar bat that we can plug in the middle of the lineup with Lindor. Whether you bat, and probably Soto's going to bat 2. It looks like Soto's going to bat 2. You could bat him 3, but a lot of these teams are batting their best hitter number 2. So to have that combination of Lindor, Soto at the top of the lineup, that is going to be dangerous. Maybe Vientos bats 3. It'll be interesting. But number one move on our plan A would be to sign Juan Soto. Number 2 move, and this is geared more toward our pitching focus, you got to get pitching. We don't have anybody really signed in the starting rotation except for Peterson, except for Kodai Senga. Kodai Senga has injury concern. So we got to do a lot of work in the starting rotation. So my second move would be you trade for Mr. Garrett Crochet. That would be my second move. Garrett Crochet is making a minimal salary. Yes, you would have to eventually sign him long term, but it looks like you can use his last 2 years of arbitration as great leverage because he is making nothing. I believe he's making $2 million. So if you pay him like $15 to $20 million, I mean, that is a great increase from what he's making. I mean, like Juan Soto in his last year of arbitration, he was making $30 million. So for you to give a guy like that a raise, you have to pay him like $40, $50 million. Not the same with Garrett Crochet. He is making peanuts right now. So my second move would be to get Garrett Crochet. My third move would be to start again beefing up my rotation. We can defer. Everybody can be different. My third move is I sign Corbin Burnes. Again, adding another good arm to my rotation. Good, reliable fireball arm. Okay, number 4. This is where I'm going to try to improve my defense and my center field play. We need help in the outfield. Let's say you stick, this is just purposes of filling out the roster right now. Let's say Soto is going to right field. I need a center fielder. Nimmo's probably going to play left. I need a center fielder. I want an upgrade over Harrison Bader. Tyrone Taylor is going to be best suited coming off the bench. Where's my upgrade? This is where we're going to make a trade for Mr. Brenton Doyle of the Rockies. I've been saying this ad nauseum. Brenton Doyle is going to be 27 years old. He's played in 2 seasons with the Rockies, already has won a Gold Glove. The man is 6'4". Last year, he hit over 20 home runs. He hit average of 260, knocked in over 70 runs. He has so much untapped offensive potential, and he is a great defensive guy. So I would trade to upgrade my center field position. Drew Gilbert, yes, he's an option, but he's not ready for a team right now who is going to, without a doubt, compete for a championship. So that would be my 4th move. My 5th move would be to sign Pete Alonso. Now, There are other options. There are other options. If Pete Alonso, for some reason, doesn't work out, people are saying you could sign an Alex Bregman, move Mark Vientos to first, or sign a Willy Adames, move Mark Vientos to first. So there are other options, but nonetheless, I believe Pete Alonso is a better offensive player than Bregman, than Adames right now. That's my thing. That's what I believe. So I would just choose Adames. I would choose Alonso as my plan A. Okay. Now again, this is plan A. So how would I beef up my rotation? I would sign Roki Sasaki. Okay, Sasaki has to choose, a team. You're not going to be paying him a lot of money. So you traded for Garrett Crochet. You're signing Sasaki. So two very talented, valuable pitchers you're going to be acquiring at a low price. That allows you to sign a Burns. Now, if I'm going again for plan A, this is where, you have a great list. I was like, okay, let's go for Sean Manaea because we need a lot of pitching. But plan A, I'm going to sign Max Fried. I'm going to sign Max Fried. Money's not an option. But in addition to signing Max Fried, I want to add more depth to my starting rotation. So then after that, I'm either going to sign Walker Buehler or a Shane Bieber. So that would mean our rotation fills out like this. Leading off the rotation, we have Corbin Burns. Second would be Garrett Crochet. Third would be Roki Sasaki. Fourth would be Kodai Senga. And fifth would be Max Fried. Now, we have Walker Buehler as a number six. And we have Peterson, who could be a number 6, a number 7, or he could be coming out of the bullpen. Now, I know I went crazy with adding additional arms, but I'm doing this with the thought in the back of my mind that Crochet has been injured. He had Tommy John surgery in 2022, and Kodai Senga was injured the entire last year. So that means that most likely Walker Buehler and Peterson would both be slotted in the rotation. Okay, so this is plan A, folks. I know it's pie in the sky, but it's plan A. It's plan A. Plan A means money is not an option. Now, bullpen. Bullpen currently, we have Jose Budo, we have Diaz, and we have a few other guys who are signed. But right now, I want to get the best guys available. And the best guys available start off with Tanner Scott, Jeff Hoffman. You got Carlos Estevez, Clay Holmes. I would sign 2 or 3 of those guys for plan A. Plan A. I know, obviously, you can go cheap in the bullpen. You can get guys like Ryan Stanek at great discount contracts. But if we're going for plan A, I want the best of the best of the best. If you're going to be spending over $1 billion in the rotation and with Juan Soto in the lineup, you're not going to skim when it comes to relief pitching. You're going to go all in. And at the end of the day, if you lose those 10 picks in the draft, so be it. So be it. We are going all in right now. That would be plan A. Like, I know that I went crazy with the rotation, but my lineup would look like this. So I have Brandon Doyle playing center field, Juan Soto playing right, Brandon Nimmo playing left, Alonso at first. Second base is a position that I'm leaving open for the youngsters, whether it's Acuna, whether it is a Mauricio, whether in the future it's going to be a Jet Williams. You're going to have shortstop filled by, of course, Lindor, Vientos at third, Alvarez behind the plate, and DH could be another position for the youngsters to go through. Or you could put a Soto at DH and you could put a Drew Gilbert in the outfield. So however you want to work it, I left 2 positions for the youngsters to come up through, and then the rest of the lineup I filled in. All right, so that is my plan A. My plan A is to get a crap load of starting pitchers, build the offense around Juan Soto, trade for a good defensive center fielder, and then beef up your bullpen as much as possible. And then the bench right now, you would have McNeil, Taylor, Marte, and if you keep Torrens, that's your bench. And you might want to add one more player there, but that could be filled in with a youngster as well. So that's my plan A. I know it's very, very high reaching. What's your plan A? What actually, let's do it like this. What would be your top 3 or 4 moves if you don't want to fill out an entire roster? What would be your top 3 or 4 moves, or top 3 moves? All right. So let's get to our third part of the video, and let's get to Mr. Garrett Crochet. Now, it really appears like the White Sox, what they want to do, what their goal is they want to trade Garrett Crochet. At the deadline, that was the rumor. They want to get rid of Garrett Crochet. And you know what? You may be asking, why would the White Sox want to trade this guy? Well, you know what? The White Sox are close to winning nothing. They're close to winning nothing. And there's a lot of high risk with keeping Crochet. The guy has an arm injury, or he has a bad season. His value goes from very, very high to very, very low, obviously. And what they want to do is they want to turn Crochet in one answer into 4 or 5 answers. Crochet, despite being young, he's only got 2 years left on his contract. So in 2 years, the White Sox could be with nothing if Crochet signs elsewhere. So there is a lot of risk letting this go from 2 years left on Crochet's contract to potentially trading him at the deadline. He could get hurt. He could do bad. And then a team who acquires him only has a year and a half left. So the value that the White Sox could acquire back in a trade, that value goes down. So the White Sox right now, Crochet is at his highest value right now. It only goes down from here. Only can go down. So there's a whole crap load of risk for the White Sox to continue to keep Crochet. All right, so the rumor is the White Sox are looking for position player talent. The other day, I put out a bunch of position players that potentially the White Sox would want, but now I see that Zach Scott, the former general manager of the Mets, he put out a trade for Garrett Crochet, and I like to look at that as well. So looking at that trade, he proposed a blockbuster deal. I believe he did it on SNY. So this is the trade package. So the Mets would receive Garrett Crochet. The White Sox would receive Jet Williams, Ronnie Mauricio, Brett Beatty, and infielder Jesus Baez. So obviously, right there, you are giving, you're giving a great deal of potential talent. Jet Williams was injured last year. Ronnie Mauricio was injured last year as well. Brett Beatty has had opportunities at the major league to improve himself, has not proved himself at the major league level. So, that's a guy whose value is at its lowest. Infielder Jesus Baez, I believe he's ranked like the 14th, the best Mets prospect. He's a very young prospect. He's a guy, we're a little more uncertain about. Jet Williams and Ronnie Mauricio, they're more highly ranked. Jet Williams is the second best prospect. I mean, how do I feel about this package? A lot of people who are very in the know about prospects, they say that Jet Williams is the guy they wouldn't trade, right? So Jet Williams would most certainly be the key guy in this trade. That would be a guy the White Sox do want. And I believe if you're getting a guy like Garrett Crochet, you need at least one of those guys going back in the trade. Ronnie Mauricio, he's a guy I personally like. If there's a way we could keep Ronnie Mauricio and insert somebody else in the trade, I would do that trade in a heartbeat. I certainly would. Who would that other guy be? Would it be an Acuna? No, I wouldn't want to put an Acuna in there. If it's a deal breaker, then I would probably have to think about it. But I would do the trade Jet Williams, Brett Beatty, Jesus Baez, and somebody else instead of Ronnie Mauricio. Folks, I see Ronnie Mauricio as almost a Mark Vientos type player. Ronnie Mauricio is a 6'3", switch hitting shortstop, 220 pounds. I mean, the way Ronnie was hitting the ball before he got injured, I mean, the guy looked like a monster. He almost kind of reminded me of Ellie De La Cruz from the Reds. Ellie De La Cruz is a little bigger. He's 6'5", but those are the type of vibes that Ronnie Mauricio gave me. Now, I mean, that's why I would want to keep him. If I'm going to give one star away in Jet Williams, for 2 years of Garrett Crochet, I'd want to keep Ronnie Mauricio. But I could build a trade package around Jet Williams, Brett Beatty, and Jesus Baez. Okay. So Scott goes on to say they should target Garrett Crochet, an impact starting pitcher with 2 years left of control. To me, they're going to have to give up a pretty big haul. Scott was the general manager of the team through the 2021 season. Williams is the number 2 overall prospect, and Baez is confirmed the number 14 prospect on the team, according to MLB Pipeline. Mauricio made his MLB debut in 2023, but missed all of 2024 with that ACL injury. The highlighted player going to the White Sox would, of course, be Mr. Jet Williams. He is a top 100 prospect and would likely be needed to complete a blockbuster trade with the Mets. Meanwhile, Beatty and Mauricio are players the White Sox can plug in right away. Baez is 19. He hit .262 batting average with 11 home runs in 72 games across single A and high A in 2024. Scouts have said some pretty nice things about Jesus Baez. So that's another guy with a lot of potential. So in that trade, analyzing it, you're giving up Jet Williams, Ronnie Mauricio, and Brett Beatty, all essentially can play on the White Sox next year, and Jesus Baez would probably be ready in 2 to 3 years. So you're giving them a lot of ready now players. So I could see where it would be very appealing. And, the Mets have a lot of those guys. And then another guy would be Acuna, Drew Gilbert. The Mets have a lot of, offensive guys who are ready to play immediately. So let me know what you think about that trade. Bob Nightingale, he revealed that the White Sox plan to move Crochet this winter. According to Bob Nightingale, that is their goal, and it makes sense based on what I said before. He has club control and an all-star selection under his belt. 2024 was Crochet's first year as a starter. Spock Track projects, and this is interesting. So Spock Track, they project Crochet to sign a 6-year, $130 million deal when he hits free agency after 2026. I mean, folks, that is a very reasonable number. 6 years, $130 million. And they said he would sign that after 2026. If he got to 2026, so let's say he pitched 2025 and 2026, and he was that dominant like he was this past year, he'd be getting way more than 6 years, 130. Now, if the Mets signed him right away in 2024, I could see Crochet signing a contract now. But if you wait 2 more years and he has 2 productive years, his number is going way up. 6 years, 130. Okay, so if the Mets' top priorities, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, adding Crochet could be seen as a move to save money. Okay, so we've already spoken about that. All right, so folks, what do you think about that trade? Is it go or no go? I mean, I put kind of feelers on this the other day. I got a lot of feedback back from White Sox fans. I heard, oh, the Mets don't have a good farm system. Other teams have good farm systems. So then I asked, which teams are you referring to? Oh, the Padres have a better farm system. The Rangers have a better farm system. But then I realized, maybe I'm talking to somebody who hasn't been updated on farm system, because the Padres, you give them a lot of credit, they traded a lot of their prospect capital in their recent trades. In fact, I believe 13 of their top 21 prospects have been traded in recent trades. The Rangers, they promoted a couple of their youngsters. So those 2 farm systems aren't highly ranked like they have been in the last couple of years. But, other teams aren't good in the running for Garrett Crochet. A team like the Dodgers always has prospects, and they're always looking for starting pitching. So the team like the Dodgers, yes, will be a suitor. But the Mets, if they're aggressive, I believe that, we could really capitalize on this type of player. He's a player I desperately want. All right, folks, again, if you haven't got a chance, like, subscribe. I will speak to everybody very, very soon with all of the latest updates and rumors, and we'll try to figure out how much validity all of these rumors have. Have a great day. Let's go Mets.